Hello, my name is Ruddhra Gupta, and I'm arguing against the use of AI in the classroom setting.
Hello, I am Barr, Elnekave, and I am arguing for the point of AI being supported in the classroom setting. Okay, so Quizlet conducted a study and they found that 60% of students said that AI, such as ChatGPT, helps them helps them study and learn stuff faster. So keep in mind that this is towards like taking a textbook, putting a page into chat, and then having it spew back out to you a condensed version. This helps them learn faster, more effectively, and actually understand the language because it's simplified.
Although things like ChatGPT can make the work for students more efficient, what it does is far more harmful for these students. Right now, if students just take the text from the textbook and put it in ChatGPT to condense it down, they don't get critical thinking skills they need to develop when they're reading the text, which is often things that get tested during the SAT and things like that, where ChatGPT is just not accessible. This just leads students to get overly dependent on a tool where if they get overly dependent on it, they won't have the critical thinking skills to get successful in the future.
I doubt that critical thinking skills come from analyzing a page of a textbook. And I think that in general, textbook reading is something that since the beginning of schooling has been criticized and has been looked towards a way to make it easier, and AI being the best way to do that. I don't think that it lowers your critical thinking skills at all because those skills derive from solving problems that you get the same problems when it's a dumbed down version or a simplified version by ChatGPT.
But the thing about critical thinking skills is like analyzing complex language sometimes, which I said, like testing in the SAT, right? Or even sometimes students use it to make homework more efficient for them. Like they'll use it to answer some questions and they'll like write it down in their own words. But their critical thinking skills aren't being analyzed, right? It's not their interpretation of the text, it's ChatGPT's dumbed down interpretation of the text, which is what is not very beneficial for the students.
Yeah.
So what's happening right now is that students often use AI to cheat on assignments and tests. So that's not good for them because that's just cheating, and cheating is never good.
Right. So I'm not in support of using AI on tests themselves. It should be used in order to study and condense information and help you on like an essay, for example. But an in-class test where it's like your own skills be tested. Obviously, AI is not your own skills; it's a tool. So on tests, it should not be allowed.
But don't you think if students are using it for homework or even for essays, which are supposed to like develop the skills or like test your skills, students won't have those skills to apply in the exam, which means that they're still getting like dumber, which is not good for them.
Yeah. So what I think about that is that you can look at it from a fact of students when they don't have the AI, learning gets a lot harder and more boring and just inaccessible, right? So with the AI, you're learning like quicker and you're learning actually better because you're more engaged in the stuff because it's more to your ability, right?
Mm-hmm.
So actually, I think that you're saying that it will make you less prepared for the test. I think that with AI, it actually helps you indulge yourself in the content more and will actually bring you to a higher standard for the test.
No, but the point is that students aren't learning when they're using AI. They're just using it to cheat. So even if it's like on tests, what's stopping them from using it on like homework assignments where they're preparing for exams or where they're actually going to learn stuff for the exams? So if they cheat on homework assignments, that's as good as like not being prepared for a test, right?
Well, if it's allowed, it's not cheating on homework assignments. That's one. And two, is that it the AI itself helps them with the homework assignment, but it also helps them have a deeper understanding of the content rather if they didn't have the AI.
But aren't there also alternate methods that students can go to, like parents going to office hours, looking for like tutors, which might not be accessible for all students,
Exactly.
but office hours, or like going to a teacher during lunch or something like that.
Yeah, so all those things are less accessible than AI. And also there's like other students that want to go to office hours and whatnot, right? So there's not the one-on-one that you get from AI. There's not the accessibility that you get from AI. And sometimes AI will just do a really boring task that will take a long time with the tutor or whatnot in a fraction of a second. And it's just a better and more efficient way as humanity progresses. We have to progress the tools that we use to help us.
But don't you think what AI is doing is just spoon feeding and doesn't like help the student actually develop the skills to learn the topic?
No, I don't think that that's what it is.
Okay.
So it's been shown that teachers use AI in classrooms, one, in order to condense writings that they have to put out, in order to put up example writings for students and example questions, and they use it in general to get through work faster. So what's the difference between teachers being able to use it for schoolwork and students being able to use it for schoolwork?
The difference is that basically teachers are far more mature than students. Students often look towards misusing the technology and just getting answers. It's as good as giving them an answer key, which does not actually help them learn. Teachers are far more mature, they know how to use the technology properly, and it's just a better world overall when students aren't getting a cheat sheet for every single assignment they're doing.
Yeah. You know what? You have a point.
I know I do. Students themselves right now admitted to cheating on assignments and tests while using AI. Around 30% of students have used AI on assignments and tests, and 50% of students think that this is cheating, which is just unfair because sometimes students it's just giving them a cheat sheet.
Okay, so on tests, AI should not be allowed. On tests, you are testing the physical capabilities of the student's brain and only his brain or her brain. So no AI should be needed. But on assignments, it is totally allowed, right? And it is a helpful tool. Just like, should spell check be allowed on assignments? Yes, because it is a tool to help the students learn towards the test. It is a tool to help the students imbibe information that they will get into their brain, which then will be tested on during the test.
Okay, the point you made about like spell checks and like Grammarly and things like that, these are actually like prone to be very bad for students because they become overly reliant on using these tools, which means that their grammar skills and spelling skills are literally not good, which means that they don't know how to write cohesive English sentences without relying on things like Grammarly or even like ChatGPT to check their grammar, right? Which is not a good thing. And also, cheating on assignments is also bad because it's preparing you for the test. If you're cheating on assignments that prepares you for the test, you won't know anything for the test, which means you're going to fail your test.
Using AI is not cheating on assignments.
But 50% of students, more than 50% of students think
that is cheating on a test if you use it, not on assignments.
Both tests and assignments.
Both tests and assignments.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I personally think that AI is not cheating. It is a tool to help you.
But isn't taking someone else's work or something else's work and passing it off as your own work considered plagiarism?
It's not passing it on as your own work. You're using it to get ideas. I'm not saying tell ChatGPT to write your essay and then copy paste it in.
Yeah, but that's what students often do. That's the problem. They're being lazy and they don't use the technology properly.
Okay, so I think that what we agree on is that there's a very fine line in between where ChatGPT should and shouldn't be used. I think that the line is where ChatGPT for ideas, for condensing information, and for spell check, for example, should all be things that are allowed. But using ChatGPT, because let's say ChatGPT is a person, right? You can't have your mother write your entire essay and then turn that in as your own work, because that is plagiarism, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but you can have your mother give you an idea for your essay or help you out with spelling on your essay, correct? And that's
Yes.
allowed.
Yes.
So I think it's the same thing, just a more accessible mother.
Yeah. No, I get your point about what you're saying about like how it becomes a tool. But the problem in schools right now is that students aren't using it as a tool. They're using it
Yeah.
to cheat on their assignments, which means that they're taking the work that the AI is giving, and they're passing it off as their own, which is the main problem that we're trying to fix, and that's the problem we don't want to have, because that has a really big impact on like the students' lives.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? I totally agree with that. And I think that we've kind of reached an understanding of each other that ChatGPT can be good as long as the correct guidelines on where and when it should be used are in place, and someone has to figure out a way to enforce them. Not us, not me. I don't know how to, but I think that it can totally be good. It just has to be limited to not be used out of proportions.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. All right. So you know what? I think that we have totally come to an understanding here that there has to be rules set in place to limit the amount of how much AI can be used, so that it's not considered cheating or it's not plagiarism, but that it can absolutely be helpful and useful as if it's used as a tool. I think that we both agree on that, and I think that we don't yet have the ways to implement those rules and restrictions on how much it can be used. But once those things are found and there's a way to restrict it, I think that it will be something that will be helpful to move schooling and humanity in general forward as in society as we've always been.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you.
Awesome. Great.
So nice discussing this with you.
Absolutely.